Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as, investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are before market open on Tuesday, April 30th. We're going to take a look at PayPal today. So PayPal jumping up a bit on earnings at the moment. Now, sort of an interesting situation here as PayPal Holdings Q1 profit increases but misses estimates. So here's an instance that we've spoken about before where it misses the estimates, but maybe for some prior price action reasons, maybe for some additional ancillary reasons, such as raising its forecast, right? Improved guidance, improved margins. These things, total payment volume, these things can sometimes blend together to outweigh missing estimates. Now, obviously, it's a risky business to to make predictions in those sort of environments, but this is, for the moment at least, how the market is absorbing and reacting to that mixed bag of information. Now, keep in mind, this is also in the backdrop of the stock that has plummeted quite significantly over many quarters. And so it's been beat down very, very far from its previous highs or even recent highs, right? This is a high last summer, and this is the high, or I guess the low of late last year. And so it's climbed a little bit since then, but I mean, just overall, again, you zoom out and the market basically taking this mixed bag of earnings, even though it missed estimates, as, at least for the time being, a positive sign. Now that could reverse intraday, of course. Let's zoom in intraday, and then we'll talk about sort of the multi-day look. I'm going to go on the 3-minute here, and we see it was coming in yesterday off of this 65.90 level that we have on the chart. Just kind of held steady throughout the day. Not super uncommon for many stocks to kind of just do that as folks wait for the information to come out. And then, quick dip down near this 64.11 level that we have, and then a rise back up, and it topped right out 10 cents shy of this 72.90 level that we have in the chart. And right now trying to find support at this 69.73 level. So will it spend much of the day in between these levels? Not entirely sure, but certainly if it slips or loses that 69.73 and confirms it as resistance, it might be a situation where it heads down toward that 65.90, or, there's a bunch of price action in here between, say, 67 and just above 68. And so it may sort of find an additional support level there. That level didn't look as strong to me on the daily chart, which is what these levels are from. But just keep in mind, if we just go super zoomed in here on the 3-minute, that could certainly play a role intraday. Now, one other thing to look at intraday, since we're sort of about to kick things off in the market, is where the EMAs are currently situated. So right now, the 183 EMA, where oftentimes maybe, stocks can find a bounce, it's situated right around that level, right? That's where this sort of settled and bounced off of this gray EMA here. 68.31 at the moment. If it does come down, I would expect that to also come down a little bit and maybe situate itself in that 67 to 68 range that we just spoke about, and maybe provide it some support at that level. Or, of course, if it starts to slip and it loses that level, that could be not a great sign for the bulls, at least from an intraday perspective. The EMA is bunching up here once again as it brought that lift and then has come down, and for the time being at least, trying to hold support around that 34 EMA. So we'll see how those play intraday. But if we zoom back out and just go multi-day instead of intraday, here's what I'm looking for in the days ahead. So right now, we're actually situated just above this 69.73, so if it can rise, or continue to rise, I guess, 72.90, 76.78, and then if it really gets a tailwind, keeps pushing, maybe some good analyst upgrades or price target raises come in or something like that, 80.48, 84.49, and 88.84. Now, if this ends up to just be sort of a blip on the pre-market radar screen and it sells off through the day and continues to sell off in the coming days, 65.90. Like I had mentioned, there's probably also that level 67 to 68. Again, there is recent price action in that realm, but just again, historically speaking, as I scrolled way back to grab a bunch of these levels, this didn't stand out as much to me, but there is a lot of recent price action in here, so I wouldn't be surprised if something comes in there. You know, the chart's not too cluttered. We could throw something in there just while we're here. If I do this off the daily, I would go probably right here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there as a horizontal ray, just so we see this is indicating that this is kind of just kicking off from this range here. Let's say there. Okay, so now we have 67.25, right? If it does come down, 65.90, and then if it really starts to pick up some downward momentum, 64.11, 62.94, and 61.28. So as far as I went for now, but we could certainly come in and throw in some additional levels if folks are interested. Just leave me a comment and let me know. Now, on the Thinkorswim side of things, this isn't pulling in the pre-market activity. So as you can see here, the upper bound of the channel after yesterday's close was 67.92, which means that if this 70 range holds as market opens, it's going to be up out of the channel. And so what do we always look for when stock is up out of the channel? Let's find it here. Up out of the channel, look for it to pull back into the channel, and we're curious to see what it does when it re-engages with the channel. Does it use the upper bound as support? Does it use the wave cloud as support? Those things can mean that there's more bullish momentum that needs to be exhausted before it's going to make a bigger move into the channel. And that's exactly what you see here. Out of the channel, came in, rode the wave cloud as support, didn't need to test the mid-range of the channel, and made an additional high before making a full pullback into the channel, and that's where it dropped off of here. This might have been in earnings. Yeah, previous earnings as well. That pushed out the lower bound of the channel, and again, here it made a bit stronger of a move. It came right in and was able to test the mid-range of the channel. So bulls were fighting back a bit more there than the bears were able to on the initial push here. So like I said, likely it'll be up out of the channel unless we get a really wild swing here in the next 30 minutes, at open at least. And so if it does pull back a bit during market hours today, I'll be interested to see what it does with the upper bound of this channel and what it does with, there's not much of a wave cloud. So really, if it gets into the channel, it kind of has the upper bound here and it has this mid upper bound, but that wave cloud, at least it has the appearances of probably not being super high above the mid-range of the channel, which at close of yesterday was 64.49. And so if it does inch its way toward that wave cloud, it very well may just be coming in to test the mid-range of the channel. So we'll see how those things kind of play out. Relatively recent trigger and fire, but you know, we'll see how that continues to play out as it had the bearish momentum dying down on the histogram, coming back toward the baseline, but not quite there yet. So we'll see if this snuffs out the rest of the bearish momentum and where the price moves from there. But those are my 2 cents from the multi-day and intraday perspective. I'll zoom back out here again in case you want to take one last look. And otherwise, you can, of course, rewind it and do the same. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.